What's up, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about Magic Altissimo Fingering number 2, which is a split F. If you checked out my videos, you know what that is. If not, split F is exactly like middle F, 1, 2, 3, and 4, but with the 2 finger up. Split, in my terminology, means the fingering, but with the 2 finger lifted. So you got 1, 3, and 4. And I only use 3 notes with that 1 fingering, which is Altissimo F sharp, just like a palm F sharp, Altissimo C, and then the F, Altissimo F, that's above that. So we should get this kind of thing. So just using that 1 fingering, I play those 3 notes. So why would I call this a magic fingering? Well, I want to use an analogy like a car transmission, which is basically your embouchure and your airspeed. So a transmission takes the energy from the engine and allows that to get transmitted to the tires, or to the wheels basically. And this is exactly what happens with your embouchure and airspeed. You have this energy in your body through air, and you want to transmit that through your embouchure and airspeed in order to get the right notes to come out. Or just like a car, you want to get in the right gear and be able to get the speed that you want. So from low B flat all the way up to open C sharp is like first gear. We can play that with a similar type of embouchure, adjusting for intonation. So that's kind of like first gear. Second gear, D, like middle D all the way up to G sharp. If you noticed on your horn, when you press the octave key that's moving there, that controls this vent that's right here. And then from A all the way up, then we have the neck vent that's right here. So we got middle D to G sharp, which functions like second gear, and then we got A all the way up to F or F sharp, depending on what you have on your horn. That functions like third gear. The original Adolph Sax saxophones had 2 octave keys that were here that basically controlled from D to G sharp, 1 octave mechanism, and then from A above there was another one. We don't have that. Thank goodness we don't, because it makes saxophone playing a lot easier. So Magic Altissimo Fingering number 2 are like setup gears that allows you to play notes in between a range, and then you can switch again, play the notes in between that range, switch again, and then play notes in between that range. And it's all pretty close, but just being able to dial it in is what does us a lot of good. So let me show you this real quick. All right, so we got our split F, 1, 3, and 4, or exactly like F with the 2 finger up. So I want to show you some variations that I use on this fingering when I'm playing altissimo. So the first thing I usually do is add the E flat key. You don't need this key down in order to hit this note, but I just think it makes the note sound better. So if we go from our split F by itself, then I'll go back and forth between the E flat key, and you can hear the difference in the sound. Playing an F sharp, what would be a palm F sharp. Simple. Another variation that I use with this split F in order to play F sharp is adding the low C and adding the low B flat. You can hear the one where I add the low C and the low B flat, that note is much bigger. For Altissimo C, the only variation that I use in this fingering is 1, 3, and 4, the split F. Sometimes I'll just leave the 3 key off in order to play that C. And that's about it. For the note above that, I use that to play Altissimo F, and I always use 1, 3, and 4 in order to play that. So let's move on. All right, so the real beauty, in my opinion, with using this split F as a magic altissimo fingering is how linear your embouchure and airspeed is across the range of notes that exist between the 3 notes that I play using that fingering. So what does that mean? That means when I play F sharp using that split F fingering, if I play a chromatic scale, I'm making very gradual and linear changes that make sense playing the saxophone in order to have those notes come out. And the next big change comes when I get to the Altissimo C, and the same thing from that Altissimo C up to the Altissimo F. So it's like I got 3 gears that I can use. I'll demonstrate that for you right now. So we got our F sharp, palm F sharp using the split F fingering, and I'm gonna hold the E flat key down for that. B natural, and then the C. So from C, I'll play the C chromatically up to the Altissimo F. Very easy, very simple, and a super easy way to get familiar with playing Altissimo. So another thing that comes in pretty handy using this fingering is going from, if I start with my F sharp, I can go from F sharp to G sharp simply by just adding the side C. So I'll use the split F fingering to play F sharp to G sharp. Very easy, and it lays very comfortably in the hands. If I'm playing the C, in this case, I'm just going to use that variation that I talked about, where instead of having 1, 3, and 4, I just have 1 and 4, and now I can go back and forth between C and D flat simply by lifting the 4 key and making sure that I hold the 1 key down. So if we got our C to D flat, and then above that, if we got our Altissimo F, I can hold the Altissimo F down and then just add the E flat key to that, and then I can play F to F sharp. Alright, so let's have some fun with this, and you can get an idea of how you can use it and how easy it is. So if you've gone through my other scales and whatnot, I'm just going to do a quick simplified thing now, doing some bluesy stuff, putting an emphasis on using Magic Altissimo Fingering number 2. So here's F sharp. So here's an A blues thing with an Altissimo C using the Magic Altissimo Fingering number 2. There's a C. So D, I'm going to use the F, which is Altissimo F, for this kind of D blues thing. Right, pretty simple. Let's use an F blues, and I'll use the Altissimo F as the split, the Magic Altissimo Fingering number 2. So those are just a few examples. So have fun with that. Stay tuned, and then I'm going to come out with some more videos for you. So see ya.